All right, so this debate is, should English be the exclusive global language for education, research, diplomacy, travel, business, and media? This is B period, so I will invite person 1 and 2 from team A to start, and then we'll go person 1 and 2 on this thing. Okay. So go ahead, person 1.
The debate is like sitting. No.
Can
you speak here?
No, you have to go use the podium. Okay, Bender, whenever you're ready, you can start.
So this debate is about English being the global language, and I think and we think that English should be a global language, and our position is that we agree with English being a global language because it helps people to communicate better and build bonds easier.
Guys, absolutely no talking. This is this is like a test, okay? Sorry.
So if we all communicate the same and speak the same language, we will understand each other easier, and not leaving the matter. And some of you will say, okay, what about the mother tongue? We will not leave the mother tongue. We will speak our mother tongue with a person who can understand it, or someone who can, or from the same nationality or the same background. So I think that English should be a global language, and I think English should be taught in all schools. So thank you.
Okay, thanks, Bender.
Questions?
We'll get to that later. Are you person 2, Eva?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, Eva, whenever you're ready.
I think English is a really good option for a global language because it's a girl. Because millions of people speak it and millions of people know it. It's their main language, and in many countries they use it as a main language, and that becomes a common language, which is easier to be known for everybody. And it's most used in internet and business, and that's a good idea of what it should be learned in school, because when students study business, they should learn it in English because of all the development that you have to do. And if you think about it, everyone that wants, well, not everyone, but most of the people that want to do a second language choose English, because it's a language that you can use all over the world.
Okay.
But they want English to be a first language before.
No.
Second.
But it's already.
It would be the official language of education, right? Research, diplomacy, travel, but we said before that you would still obviously speak your mother tongue language at home. Okay.
Yeah, and you can
Okay,
have a subject.
let's go back to person 1 and 2 on this side, then we'll have question and answers, okay? Okay, birthday boy.
So, my name is Pedro, and I'm here to support my group team that English should not be the global language. Everybody knows that nowadays English is one of the most spoken language, like you use almost for everything for business. But you can consider the global one because you have more Mandarin speakers than English speakers. That is about 2 billion, and they also use for education, for business, and for almost everything in their country and country that speaks Mandarin. And if you create a global language, you're going to kill identities and kill mother tongues. Because why should I learn my mother tongue if I have a global language? And why should I use my mother tongue if I can communicate with everybody? So a global language would kill a lot of things. And why choose English if you have more Spanish speakers by mother tongue than English speakers? Why should you think that English is more important than another one? And this is why I support English not being the global language.
Okay, thanks Pedro. Okay, person 2.
I think and my group think that English should not be global language because it's bad, because it kills identity, it kills religion, and if everyone will speak the same language, this will be not good because it will kill, like you said, it will kill identity, culture, and religion. I think mother tongue is better because it's easy to learn for you. Your parents talk your mother tongue, and you learn more stuff with mother tongue than English. And if you speak the same, if all people speak the same language, you still have wars because some people will not. They will not want to have English as global language. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'll give this team 1 minute to ask questions. So the key is you want to ask a question and let them respond. And after 1 minute, then you guys will have a chance. Okay? You can stay in your seats though. You don't have to.
No.
Okay. Okay. So 1 minute, team A. Pose
Okay, so first question is, you say that speaking English is a second language and learning with English is gonna kill mother tongue and identity, okay?
No,
Right?
I didn't say it.
What did you say? He said it. That you said it, and you said that it's gonna kill mother tongues if you communicate with English.
No, I said that
Education.
if English is a global language, like you're going to only speak English. Yeah, it's going
Okay, so you said that it's gonna
What is the
kill
second?
religion and gonna kill
Yeah.
mother tongues.
Because it will be
Okay, what's your mother tongue?
Russian.
Why are you speaking to me in English if you think it's bad?
Ну я могу тебе по-русски говорить, какие проблемы?
I'm not gonna understand anything. That's why you should speak to me in English so we can understand each other.
Yeah, but
If you speak to me in Russian, I spoke to you in Arabic. We're not gonna understand anything. We're not gonna get.
Okay, it's not gonna become a fight, okay? I'm gonna tell you something. I speak Spanish and you speak Russian, okay?
We're not
Right
gonna
now,
understand
in the
anything.
school, we're speaking English and we understand each other.
Yeah.
And we can make an agreement. If I didn't know English and you didn't know English, there's not gonna be a way that we both could speak and we both could understand each other.
But I'm here for 4 years. I'm losing my identity here.
But you
No, but because there's
we're
a
not
lot of
using.
Russian, so we can speak your
Whenever
mother
you
tongue.
wanna
English
work,
is still not
You're
our
not
main
only
language.
gonna work in Russian. You're gonna go to other places where you have to understand people from all over the world.
Eva, how would you feel if tomorrow you wake up and you cannot speak Spanish?
Well,
No,
yeah.
I'm not telling you.
It's a loss of identity.
I'm not telling you you're not gonna speak Spanish.
Wait, Eva. We're saying to him, with people who don't understand your language, speak with them in English.
Yeah, but
For
that
example,
doesn't mean that the
wait.
English should be
I'm
at the
just gonna
global
ask
language.
you,
You
I'm
can speak to you in
gonna
English,
ask
you can speak to you in English.
For example, Arthur and Pedro, they both speak Portuguese. What do they speak when they speak to each other?
Portuguese.
Okay, when they speak with me, what do they say?
Portuguese and English.
So which why is it second
Okay, when
language?
they speak to Peter.
Read on the door, it's second language, not a global language.
What is it?
Second language. This
Yeah,
is
here's
English should be a second
Okay,
language.
think
yes.
about it.
But
Wow,
defending
you're
it's a global
defending
language.
English
defending
as a
that
global
English
language,
should be
as a
global
first
language.
language.
It should be for
For
study.
everything you should use English.
Okay, guys, stop and stop. Okay, please stop. Okay, if we have the opportunity to all understand each other, why are we closing that opportunity and being in a small circle than saying like I'm only gonna speak Spanish, I'm only gonna speak
Because
Spanish?
you
We should learn
you
another
don't speak
language
your
that
mother tongue, you
everyone
can't
can
stop
learn.
Okay.
That everyone can learn and everyone can understand each other.
Eva, you don't need to stop learning English. English as a second language should be taught in schools. You can learn the opportunity to speak English to whoever you want and to speak your mother tongue to whoever you want. So you're not
Let
gonna.
me
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but
No,
the-
you
the-
are
you
not-
are
that's what I said.
The problem right here is that it's not a global language and
You're trying to
No.
defend our
no.
language.
I'm
No,
telling you.
you
Your
can't-
point
wait.
English should be a global language.
What's a global
As
language?
the first
Okay,
language.
What's a global
As a
language?
first
You know what's a
language,
global
not a
language?
second
First
language.
language.
Wait. Tell me, what's a global language?
The first language.
The first language.
No, that's not correct. A
No,
global language
it
is
is.
a
It's a
language
language that you
used in education, traveling, economy, used in everything. That's
Like,
not a first language.
We agree that English should be spoken when you're in business, politics, and trading.
Okay,
so
that's a
you're-
global language.
You
So
shouldn't be
support us.
using English when you're like, you shouldn't lose your mother tongue, your
No, for
identity.
example,
identity.
when they
Part of
stop-
you,
No, wait, for example,
because
I'm
of
not gonna
English.
see them
English
speaking-
is killing
Wait.
the
For
We're
example,
not saying that.
Okay, guys. Well, some good points are raised.
She just said that our point was good.
Now
yeah,
let's.
she just
So
said
they
what
said
she-
our
They said it. So they agree with us. class, you know?
What I want to say though is some good points are raised. We'll have another question and answer after persons 3 and 4 and 3 and 4, but let's keep it civil, okay? So let's go ahead, person 3. Ava.
You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know.
Yeah, he's sure.
You don't know it.
Okay, so I'm gonna do quotes. One is peace cannot be kept by force; it can only be achieved by understanding. If we all understand each other, we can make. I'm talking. What?
Can you repeat the
Yes.
quote?
Peace cannot be kept by force; it can only be achieved by understanding. Peace cannot be kept by force. Okay. So if we understand each other, we can make agreements and all over the world. Like we could all be friends and all be peace. The language of friendship is no words but meanings. I'm not because your native language is Spanish. It means that if you speak English, you're killing it or you're changing it because the important thing here is the meanings, not the words. And the limits of the language means the limits of my world. When you cannot speak a language that other person speaks, there's a limit, there's a line that you cannot understand each other and you cannot talk to him and make agreements and babies.
Sir, can I ask you something?
Yes.
What are they defending? English as a first language?
No, the question is, should English should be a global language
A
that's
global, sir, a global is
But
a
what do you
really
mean
different
with
from first language, right?
global means that it would be the entire world would be educated in English, would conduct research, political diplomacy,
Be used as a
travel,
person.
business, and media would be conducted in English. That would still the mother tongue language could still exist in the home, but once you go to school, English is the language, and everything else in
But
terms
where
of
I'm going to speak my mother tongue is
Yeah.
In your
Probably-
country or people who
everywhere in my
understand.
country.
That would pretty
English is
much-
the principal for business.
I will pretty
For
much
education.
heal all
Yeah,
of
but
my
because in your country.
So where I'm going to practice my mother tongue.
that's a good question to ask in the debate.
So
Okay, go ahead, Peter.
it's going to turn the first language.
Alright, so I was standing here with my team to support hard rock evidence that English is a global language. Well, as you know probably, that's a famous number, 375 million people speak English as their first language. We're not counting the second language. It's according to studies made in 1997, which are quite old results, but I wasn't able to find other ones. Also, English is a mandatory language in all the schools all over the world. Like, for example, Poland, England, of course, the first language, Switzerland. I don't know if I was Switzerland, but I think so. In 2020, by Forbes magazine, it's estimated that 2 billion people will speak English with the first language and the second language, which is going to be similar to Mandarin. As Pedro said, Mandarin is the most spoken language, but in 2020, English may be the same as Mandarin. Also, in Europe, 56% of people speak English as a second language, which is quite a big number, I think, and according as well to Forbes magazine. As well as in my opinion, and as stated in the article, if you want to be a global leader, you should speak minimum of 3 languages as well. And I think that English is like a connecting language for everybody, so everybody can be like united with each other and communicate well. So that's my statement. Thank you.
So now it will go on to persons 3 and 4, Team B. Okay, Aiton.
Angry Birds.
Okay, so from time to time, like languages, like tend to die due to loss of societies, death of people in societies. We lose when we lose a mother tongue or a language. we lose the opportunity to learn about cultures, costumes, and new ideas that might be developed in that language that may help you with some like epidemics or technology that people that speak English or countries that speak English that have no idea what's it about. Also, we need to preserve the mother tongues to help ameliorate our planet to become a better place. And like we have the opportunity to learn about lots of cultures, ideas, and from distinct societies. So why not seize it? Also, I have an example. Let's say you are a Russian grandfather, and your grandchildren is born, and in the time that English has become a global language. Okay? So he learns English in school everywhere. So he has no opportunity to speak Russian. Then you're at your home, you cook dinner or something, and he comes to your house, and you're like talking in Russian to him, and he has no idea what you're talking. So that breaks family bonding, you know. And family is one of the most important things in the world to help you pave your path in life.
Okay.
Can I answer that, sir?
Thanks, Aitan. Not yet. Okay. Go ahead, Pedro.
Can I, because
Wait,
can I open my computer?
For the graph, yeah, you can put it on the stand and show the other team.
Yeah, you don't need family. You can spend your boarding school. Boarding school.
So you said Natalia's 5 and 7? 5 and 7?
5.
You're 5, so what's Natalia?
Natalia is 6 and 7.
6 and 7.
6 and 7 and he's 8.
Okay. Okay, whenever you're ready, Pedro.
I'm here to show data and research about my team. So according to the Wolfram Alpha, that is a research site about almost everything, you have English as second language and mother tongue, about 760 million speakers. So it's less than 1 billion people, and only Mandarin speakers, they have 2 billion. So why you don't think that Mandarin should be the global language? And also according to the site InfoPlease, you have more Spanish speakers. There is about 406 million speakers, and by mother tongue, and English is about 355. So you have more Spanish speakers than English speakers also. So why you choose English? And I have here a graph to show you the other groups that you can see here, that Mandarin is 2 billion, then Spanish, then English here. And you also have a lot of Arabic and Hindi
As a first language.
as a first language. So
Best,
if you
but
have-
we're talking about global language. Why? Because it's easier than Mandarin or Spanish.
Yeah, let him finish his speech.
And they try to make a global language in Esperanto that was created by L. Zamenhof in 1987, and it's a Latin language. And they tried once to create a global language. Or 2 million fluent speakers, but never work it out because no one wants like a global language when you have your mother tongue that you can communicate. So I think English, if they try to make the global language, is not going to work too, because no one wants to lose their identity and your mother tongue for another strange language. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Pedro. So we'll open it up for question and answer. 2 minutes, anyone can participate, okay?
Okay, can I say something?
You can ask something.
Ask something.
Start with a question.
Arthur, you said if you're a Russian grandfather and your grandson at the time when English became global language, how would they learn Russian? How would they? Okay, we said learning in English. That means your math, your science. You take English classes, but also you can take your mother. Like for example, if you're studying Russian, you can take Russian classes. And even if you don't take them, you're gonna talk at home. You're gonna be talking at home with your family because you learn when you're, for example, when you saw the movie Sound and Fury, when she couldn't hear, and she couldn't develop speech. Why is that? Because she couldn't hear her family speaking. If she could hear them speaking, and she could learn grammar by hearing them, and she could then develop speech.
It's a big difference.
No, because she's
No,
there.
no. But
But if she had ears, if she had, she could
you may learn Russian, but
in home.
from as time will pass,
Eventually.
eventually you're gonna lose.
But you'll have a Russian subject. So because it's your mother tongue, you'll
No,
have
But
it.
you're not
Because
gonna,
that's
you're not
what
gonna use
you're
it
not
because
using.
when you grow up, you're gonna do business. You're not gonna want
Okay,
to
I'm
do
gonna say
business.
something
Russian
that I don't
is
know
English.
if it's good.
You should-
If we listen, it's
You're
because
going
no
by
one
the
else
time
speaks
you're going
it.
to
So
lost.
why does it care?
You're saying that education always going to be in
So
English.
you're
Now
against.
you're going out of your
And
class.
then
So,
people
wait,
say when you pass
wait.
out your day in a school that
Okay.
no one speaks English.
Okay.
You're going to talk with your friends in
Okay.
English because your friends are from the American school.
Okay,
So
then
it's
say
all
something.
English.
Yeah,
You're going to
Alasha.
stop speaking your mother tongue.
Raza, you said that English shouldn't be taught in all of school, in the school, right? It should be all in your mother tongue. That's
No.
what okay, what
It
did you
should
say?
be half and half.
Half and half.
Yeah.
So why are you in Elias?
Why? Because
Why
I
is
want to
there
learn
only
English.
subject
I'm
in
here
English?
just for 1 year because I'm returning to Mexico and I'm going to learn
Because
my mother tongue in
you're here
Mexico.
learning
And all the basic
English.
education from my mother tongue, I got it since I was like a little kid.
Okay,
So
so you
you
got
can
it from
say-
home. You got it from home.
I'm here to.
You got
Yeah,
it from
but
home.
English is
You
not
get
a
it
global
from
language yet.
Me, what?
English is not a global.
English is
I'm here to try to get
It's not a global
university.
language. That's why she
out of
got
my
it.
country.
She speaks global language. She's not gonna be interested in learning her mother tongue because she's not
You
gonna
can
use
learn
it.
your mother.
Okay, stop.
Your mother
Victor,
tongue
Victor
and
wants to
use
say
it
something.
with people who
Victor
speak
You
wants
guys
to
can
say
just understand if you
Victor
experience
wants to
it.
say
No
something. I don't.
Okay, but Lander, you said that you learn your mother tongue in home, but if it's boarding school, you have to stay in boarding school for the whole year and you cannot go home.
But you're
you,
not gonna
you have all lessons in English. You speak only English. You'll not speak mother tongue. Where do you have to learn?
I speak my mother tongue with people who speak it. I'm the only Arab in Balapok. At the whole school day, I don't use my mother tongue. Everybody uses it.
Do you
Except
do
for
you
me.
Wait, but
do you miss it?
No,
Using Arabic?
in Balapok,
But do you miss
no,
it?
I don't miss it because I speak with them every day.
But
Why?
would you like them to be here so you can speak?
If they could be here, yes, because they're my friends. not because
Okay, I
I
have an
speak with them.
example.
If
I'm
there
here
was
with
no
Larissa.
Brazilians, well, how would you feel? If there was no like
How did you leave?
really close friends to you, like from 3 or 2 years.
Okay, guys,
Would you
we
wish
will
that
we'll have one more
here?
question and answer session
Not
after
because
persons
the
5 and
because of
6.
the hurricane.
So I'll ask you to stop there.
Guys,
You raised some good points. We'll do this again after persons 5 and 6. So let's hear from 5 and 6, then 5 and 6, another question and answer. If you think of a question, write it down, and you can ask it. Okay, then there.
So, we are saying that English should be a global language, but we are not saying, and we want to make it clear that English, that you shouldn't forget speaking in your mother tongue. You should always speak in your mother tongue with people who can understand it or people who can speak it. And and for why when Pedro showed us a graph saying that Mandarin is the most spoken language, then it's what? The second one? Spanish and then English. Why would people didn't speak Mandarin? Okay, I support English. You said, why don't you speak Mandarin or Spanish, right?
I said, why choose English?
Why choose English?
And why not think
Okay,
about
so you're-
Spanish or Mandarin?
So you are agreeing with an idea of another language being a global language,
No.
but you're not agreeing with English.
After what I said that a global language doesn't work.
You said why don't you choose Mandarin?
No, why choose
English because it's easier to learn, and it's taught in most of international schools, like most schools in Switzerland, and national schools or boarding schools in Switzerland or other countries or in Europe or in maybe Brazil. Boarding schools, they don't teach English.
We don't have borders.
Okay, there's no there is.
There
You
is-
see, there is boarding schools. They teach English. Why?
Only
Because it's a
one.
boarding school.
No, they don't teach English.
They don't teach English at all.
No, zero. They teach Portuguese.
Okay, there's in
no,
Europe.
because they're
In Europe, they teach English. Why? Because English is an easy language to learn.
Yeah, but it's not a global. It's not as a first language. They teach English so you can learn, but you start your life.
But they teach it in Brazil or no?
When do you go to boarding school? You go normally. You go.
Hey guys,
when
this
you're
is
older.
not a question and answer. It's meant to be a speech. Okay,
Okay.
so go ahead.
That's why. Okay. So they teach it in boarding schools because in boarding, for example, in LAS, you can only come here when you're 8th or 9th grade. Okay? But you cannot come before. Why? So you could have learned your mother tongue in other language in your country, and you came here like knowing your mother tongue perfectly, so you can learn another language, a second language or a third language like Spanish or French. And I believe that your ideas are ridiculous comparing to our ideas, because you're saying to speak with an Arab speaker, to speak with someone that doesn't understand Spanish, to speak with him in Spanish, to speak with someone that doesn't understand Polish, to speak with him in Russian. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying, because that's what he did. And he's a part of your group. So what he does represents you. He spoke to me in Russian and I don't understand Russian, and I replied in English because I know he will understand it. And he's a part of your group, so he represents it. So you represent speaking to people and may not make them understanding fully what you're saying. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Benner. Is this Natalia now? Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I'll speak for Natalia.
Both are
The point you guys raised before was that there are more Chinese speakers and more Spanish speakers than there are English speakers. Now that's true. However, if you see this map right here, you can see that that is a list. The countries in red are countries where English is either official language or a national language is spoken by a significant portion of the population.
Look in Brazil.
Now, I won't argue that Chinese isn't spoken by more people or Spanish isn't spoken as a mother tongue by more people, but English is a global language. It's spread all over the world. There are historical reasons for that colonialism, and some of the history isn't so nice. So we're not debating that English is necessarily better than other languages, but it is a global language. As you can see, it's the most widespread language on the planet. That's why we're saying that English should be the global language. You mentioned that people will lose their mother tongue languages. We disagree with that point. We feel that mother tongue languages are incredibly important. That's the mother tongue language will happen where the name comes from, with the mother and the father at home.
Why not leave it as it is, sir? As nowadays,
But
everything working.
we also believe that
There's bigger problems.
through having a global language like English, for historical reasons, as we said, we believe that having English as a global language will also promote the idea of peace and prosperity. If we all can communicate with each other, we're less likely to have conflicts with each other. If we all speak the same language, we can conduct business, research, and things that promote wealth and the reduction of poverty. And we think that having a global language will help with that. And for historical reasons, English is the logical choice for that global language. Thank you. No, I made that. I just made it up now.
You see?
Listening to what you're saying, I was supposed to attack what you said, right? Okay, so then the
No,
person,
I was supposed to attack.
you were person 5.
Oh yeah.
You did attack a bit, but okay. Alright, so go ahead.
He's gonna go up.
Why set English as a global language? As nowadays the world is working really good as it is. People are making money, people are happy. People who speak their mother tongue, they speak English, they speak Spanish, French. Why change it?
Because it's happening.
The discussions are well dealt in other languages. Most of the times they come in handy. Sometimes discussions that you do in other languages, you don't do in English. Like for example, it's not that I'm Brazilian, but I learned English and I learned Portuguese, and from my personal experience, you can express yourself like really good in Portuguese, like better in Portuguese than in English, and sometimes that's important for the country if you have a problem to deal with. And opportunities rise because of like different cultures and societies. Also, for example, the people in the interior of Brazil, the really poor people, they don't even know how to speak Portuguese. They don't even know how to write Portuguese. How they have time to learn English? They don't even have schools around. And to set English as a global language so everybody can speak the language is going to be really hard. It's not like it's going to take years and years and years. And I bet the whole world will not speak English. And I believe it will be a problem if English becomes a global language,
because lots of people like favor their mother tongue in place of English. They could learn English as a second language. They could speak here in school like English, not anywhere. But your mother tongue is really important. It's the identity. We were born like it's like you're born in Arab in Saudi. You speak Saudi. I'm born in Brazil. You speak Portuguese. It's the identity. That's why the country, like the whole world, was like this. You're not gonna change something that's like how it is. You know, the world was made like this to stay like this. It's working now. Everything's going perfect. Problems arise, and like people deal with in their languages. They contact each other. That's it.
Okay, thanks, Anton.
Okay, I want to talk first.
I think we have person 5 though, right? Person 6, sorry. Aranza. We haven't heard from Aranza yet. Okay, Aranza.
You want me to put it?
Shh. Okay, whenever you're ready.
Okay, so you're saying that English should be a global language. You know what? You're here in LAS, and LAS is.
It's an English school language.
Hey, let her
You
speak.
speak English with all the different cultures, but there are like a lot of different cultures, and that's the identity of LAS, the different cultures. So eventually, if you have English as a global language, you will lose all of those cultures that make the identity of LAS. And it would be the same of losing your identity. Would you like to lose your Arab identity, your Mexican identity, your Polish identity? I'm Mexican and I can say that. Like, Mexico is part of me. Like, I cannot live without like Mexican blood. I love my country. And I would feel really bad if they like abnegate all of my roots. I couldn't imagine myself living in a world without Mexico. So like, what I'm supporting is that you cannot express yourself in English as you express yourself in Spanish or your mother tongue. The literature, the music, all the artists would not have any inspiration. They will all have to write in English because in order to be more successful, you will have to write or sing or express yourself in a more global language so you can succeed. Plus, we live in a world where almost all the world is capitalist, or if it's not capitalist, it has adopted some capitalist ideas. So, you know, like there would be more competition when getting a job. You get more opportunities if you speak more than 3 languages or 2 languages. And there will be all the same. So there you will lose jobs and opportunities for all of those who are actually like work with languages and artistic and their identity.
Okay.
You get it?
Yes.
I'm not.
No, what's wrong with this?
Thank you, Aranza. Okay, let's we have 2 minutes for question answers.
One question, then I'm not gonna say anything.
Okay.
You're doing the debate in English so we can understand, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
That's the whole point. Thank you.
No.
So we can
Can I
understand.
say
We
something?
can build
Come on,
bonds, understand each other.
Yeah,
so if we
exactly.
spoke in Spanish, she will understand.
My idea,
Our
Our idea of using English is we can use English for business, politics, and trading.
That's the use of global
Yeah,
But you will
language.
have as well your mother tongue as your first language.
You can
You-
deal with people from your
The
country.
first
trade
language-
and-
Wait, there's a difference between
first
a global
language-
language and a first language. A global language is used for education, economy, politics,
Yeah, but you
and
go to school
business.
and you learn English. Just English. And your grammar in mother tongue will be like,
يلا طب قال احنا ابوي haven't
Okay,
listen.
my turn. I'm mad. Okay. Do you remember how we said, how we saw the guy that didn't want his kid to hear? Do you remember because he was close to his identity and his whatever he was born with? Well, I see just the same in each other. Why close to the world's preference to stay like this?
We
Just
defend to
yeah,
learn
use your mind.
we-
Not
we-
because
we-
I have
we-
global
learn
debate.
another
Use your
language.
mind.
Because
That
no
guy
one-
of the
I know
movie that
We're
doesn't
studying.
want
What's
to
a
change
global
the
language?
culture.
What's a
What's your
global
mother
Did
He
you
doesn't
go to high
want.
school in Mexico?
We are
My
not
friends
going
won't
to lose
understand.
opportunities
wait.
without English being the
I
global language.
Alto,
We are going to
You
lose
speak English
opportunities.
in your.
What's Araza?
We're not going to
Please explain
lose
to me.
nothing.
I don't know
If you go back
anything.
to
I'm
Max, you
stupid.
speak
I want
English.
you to
Let's say
explain what's a global
you
language.
use English as a global
A
language.
global
you go back
language
to
is a
school.
language that
Yeah,
is
what's up?
spoken in many parts of the world,
Yes.
and it's officially declared a global language.
No, it's used
Yeah,
for
yes.
business, politics,
A
education,
global
whatever.
Okay, guys,
Not first language.
I think we should move on. If we have a little bit more time, we can open up to question and answer.
Can I do something else?
One more thing, and then we're gonna move into 7 and 8.
Okay. But like right now, English is a global language. What's the point on doing it like a title that it says English is a global language?
Okay, I
it's the
just
same
said-
thing.
I just said, let's leave the word the way it is. It's nice this way, right? You said it.
Yes.
And you said, now it's a global language. So you both agreed that a global language is a good idea because he said, leave it, it's nice. And she says it's a global
Guys,
language.
don't be mad.
So they
We
like
said that it shouldn't be a global language with the title. What is the point? There is no point with it.
Let's finish up with 7 and 8. We'll come back to this if we have some time at the end for questions. Thank you, Lorenzo. We've got 7 minutes left in class. So Natalia's speech, question 7. I'm here to conclude and reinforce the thesis that English should be a global language. Firstly, I would like to state that I believe people should be able to speak their mother tongue. There's no question about that. But also English. I don't agree with the idea of making English the only spoken language in the world. However, I do agree with the idea of making English the common language. The language that would unite the world and make things easier and more effective. For example, when it comes to economics and business, health and science, arts and entertainment, tourism and communication, and even leisure in any form, wouldn't it be much more reasonable to have a common language in which everyone could understand everyone? We would be able to exchange knowledge and culture in a very straightforward way. Secondly, the world is rapidly becoming more globalized every day. In order for the countries to grow independently but simultaneously developing together, a common working language would be extremely appropriate. Furthermore, Albert Einstein would say that peace can only be achieved by understanding, and which better way to achieve understanding than by having a global language? And which way to achieve that by starting early when students are going to school? In conclusion, we're still going to keep our language, our culture, and the diversity of the identities that keep the earth unique. But along with that, we're going to make certain areas of life easier to deal with. That is why we believe English should be the global language. Okay, person 8.
Can I ask a question?
Not yet.
She can understand.
Okay, Peter.
Yeah. Well, right. So I feel like we all find standing here at this debate today. We strongly agree that English is a global language, and I'm sure you know it as well. I'm sure. Whenever you go to a different foreign country, say you go from Russia, you go outside to Germany, and you know English. Which language are you going to speak? You won't speak Russian, you speak English. It's going to be an instinct.
If you go to Brazil,
It's going to be an instinct. You're going to go to a train station, to an embassy. You're going to speak English. It's going to be like immediately, you're going to think,
If I
speak
go
in
to an
English.
embassy, I'm going to speak
Yeah,
English.
let's say to an official building.
To ask for direction.
Yes.
Wait, let him finish.
You will speak in English. So, we
is
say,
an alternative.
I mean, I strongly think that it's an instinct that if you know English and you're in a foreign country, you're gonna immediately speak it, and you know it. And I think English should be a harpoon for everybody, and it should be taught everywhere. And it shouldn't. And of course, we don't stress that it should overtake your mother tongue. We want it to be a one language. Wherever you go, people can understand you and you can communicate with, like we're doing right now. And I'm sure you agree with us. I'm sure. Thank you. Both
Thanks,
for
Peter.
it.
Thank you, Peter. Okay, person 7 and 8.
We can repeat that.
Perfect.
English is an evaluation.
Okay, guys, we need to finish up. Okay, so let's get going.
English or not? No. I don't think there is enough time.
There is.
Yeah?
There's 4 minutes, and we'll stay even if there's not. Okay. Okay, Victor.
Okay. Like Peter said, that no one will have the. I mean, yeah. I think that if all people speak English, they will lose identity, culture, and religion. Like someone said that if you go to boarding school, you'll have education in English, but when you come to home, you'll speak mother tongue with your parents. But if you go to boarding school in childhood, you'll learn only English education. I mean, mother tongue will be hard to learn for you because you're boarding school from childhood. Then, when you come to home, you want to speak with grandfather, but you cannot because you're studying English in school. In school, yeah. And when you come to school, home, you will not understand your grandfather or mother, I don't know, because he speaks another language that you didn't learn about. Then there is more Mandarin language than English, but why we cannot learn Mandarin? Yeah, why?
No, better.
Because no, please. English is all around the world.
Really fast.
I don't just wait. Let them finish. Okay.
Okay, like Peter said, if you go from Russia to Germany, you will speak English, but if you go from Poland to Russian, you will speak English, but no one understands you because you want to speak Russian only. No one study English. I mean, they study, but they didn't study a lot. And no one understands you.
Well, that's wrong.
It's not too basic communication.
That's wrong.
No, it's
Yeah,
not. It's
Well,
not.
English
It's
is
not.
evacuation. Vai, calma.
And there is more problems. Why do we globalize English if we have other problems? There is no point. We have more problems if we globalize.
Okay, thanks, Victor. I think we should finish up. Lorenzo, Lorenzo, you last? Okay, you go ahead and go up. So go ahead, Aitan.
Can I say really fast?
Yeah, quickly.
Better. English is used as a second option. If you go to a restaurant and you want something to eat in, let's say,
I
Brazil,
use English.
and you don't speak Portuguese, you use English as a second option.
Yes, that's what we're saying. We don't want it at first like this.
Okay, guys, let's
We don't need to change the world.
I
The
wanna-
world is already
It's a
like
good
this.
language.
Guys, let's let Aranza finish so you guys can go to lunch. Before Aranza starts, though, just remember that check your email tonight. I'll send you the video. In your journal, I'll give you specific instructions on how to write your journal reflection after you've watched yourself. Okay, go ahead, Aranza.
Tomorrow,
Go ahead, Aranza. Finish this up.
Okay, so I think in this debate we all agree with the same idea. That is that English is used in business, politics, and trading. But the mother tongue, it's a really important thing in your identity and in your cultures. But eventually, if English becomes, like with the title, a global language, eventually some languages will disappear. Like right now, a lot of languages are disappearing because of this. Because they don't have any more persons who write it down because they don't care anymore about languages or cultures. So I think English shouldn't be a global language. We think English shouldn't be a global language because the identity eventually will be a total loss. And no one wants to lose their identity.
Thank you, guys. Good work, guys. Thank you for your first debate. We'll do 3 more this year. I'll send you the video. Have a nice lunch.